The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Chicken head, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a bucket full of Chicken X, the first Chicken X I've ever done on a Wednesday with the new schedule. Usually do it on a Friday, sometimes a Thursday, never a Wednesday. I have so much to talk about today, literally so much. Listen, I just had to go pick up my car, and I literally ran home and put on my computer and went here to Google Hangout. I wanted to start recording immediately because I am full of piss and vinegar right now, and I'm just going to say it. Piss and urine and vinegar, whatever, vinegar and urine, whatever's the right way to say it, whatever's the politically correct way of saying it. Screw that. I'm full of piss and vinegar. There are so many things that I want to talk about today, so many topics. I don't even know where to start. I know my blood pressure is going to go up. I have my bag because I know I'm going to hyperventilate and I'm going to need extra oxygen. I thank God nobody's home in this house right now, but Yogi's sleeping behind me because I'm going off. I'm going off today. I got a million things I want to say, things that are really troubling me. Before we get to that, I want to remind everybody, you get Chicken Necks every week. This is the podcast where I vent. If you never heard it before, I vent. I talk about everything, especially my family. They get ripped to shreds, but there's a lot of topics that we cover. But I also wanted to remind you, this month of September, if you're watching this now, you can become a member of the brand. $2.95 a month, or $2.99. I'm sorry, $2.99 a month. Lock into that for a lifetime. Now, remember, you can opt out at any time. You don't have to buy in 3 months, 6 months, a year. You could even try us for $2.99. If you're not getting your $2.99's worth, you could drop out. But you can lock into that for an entire year. All you need to do is, it says on the screen, go to vincerussobrand.com, and the code word is brand. $2.99 a month, lifetime, locks you in. That's 50 cents a week. It's what $3, $1.50. That's 75 cents a week. I have no idea what you can buy for 75 cents a week. I really don't, but I could tell you this. You can't buy Vince Russo talking about his nutsack or his ball sack or his scrotum, whatever you want to call it, because that's where this is going to start. Because I think that's the root of the problem. And let me explain something to you. I have some kind of a medical condition. I don't know what it's called. Okay. I think I went to a urologist, about a year ago. He gave me the literature and everything, and I got a physical condition. And when it starts flaring up and acting up, I'm miserable. So I have to share it with you because it's part of the reason why I haven't been myself of late. Now, listen, I got if you're a girl listening to this, I apologize. I don't know how else to describe this. The guys know what I'm talking about. I'm a 54-year-old man. I got a 54-year-old nutsack, okay? Ball sack, whatever you prefer. The problem is I got a testicle in Maine, and I got another testicle that's down in Fort Lauderdale somewhere. Now, here's the reason. The one that's down in Fort Lauderdale, in that half of the nutsack, there's the best way I could describe it is there's kind of like an intestines in there. There's like there's a condition for it. I don't know what it is, but when you feel it, it feels like intestines in there. So it weighs down the left nutsack in Fort Lauderdale, and the main nutsack is up here. Okay, so so you walk around with uneven balls. Okay, listen, that's fine. I don't have a problem with uneven balls. I honestly, I got no issue with that. But here's the problem. When it gets aggravated, and aggravation could be your underwear being too tight or your jeans being too tight. And when you sit, the ball sack gets separated. That could be the irritation. It's as simple as that. When it gets irritated, it flares up. And literally you're walking around with a feeling 24 hours a day like somebody just kicked you in the nuts. That's the nicest way I can I can describe it. And I got to tell you, as I think back now, I think I've been suffering this for a long time because I remember having issues as far back as the WWE, but I never thought much of it. But what happened was a couple of years ago, I was working out at the gym and the ball sack started bothering me. So like being a hypochondriac, I gave myself a self-examination, and all of a sudden I'm feeling a little like there was a little lump, in the ball sack. Right away, I freaked out. Listen, I never go to the doctor. I hate doctors. I don't want to hear anything's wrong with me. When it's my time to go, I just want to go. So I don't like going to the doctors. But now I'm thinking I got testicle cancer, ball cancer, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So now let me lay this out for you. So now I go to the doctor. So the doctor's feeling around. Oh yeah, something's in there, something's in there, something's in there. You got to get a sonogram. So now this is a year ago, a couple of years ago. Now I'm freaking out. Now I got to get a sonogram. Now I got ball cancer, everything you can imagine. Here's the most embarrassing thing in the world. I go a couple days later to get the sonogram, and it's a freaking woman, man. And this woman's like handling my ball sack and putting this thing over the ball sack and working the ball sack. It was the most embarrassing thing in the world, right? So then basically the tests come back. I have nothing in there. There's nothing in there but cysts. But I'm still having this problem. It's still aching down there. Like I've been kicked in the balls. I got to pee every 10 minutes, and it's burning when I pee. Finally, I go to the urologist. He tells me I got this condition. He gave me the pamphlet for it. So I guess if they make a pamphlet for it, it's, a lot of people have it. And, like, you can live with this. But, like, when it flares up, it's very uncomfortable. So the last two times it happened, the doctor gave me a steroid strip where you take like 1 a day, then 2 a day, then 3 a day, then 4 days. I don't know if the steroid's supposed to take down the swelling or what, but that was a couple of years ago. So like that prescription's expired. So now if I want to get the prescription renewed, I know I have to go back to the doctor, and he's going to feel the balls. He's going to tell me you should get this operation. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So every night I got to lay in a bathtub as hot as I could take the water. Then when I'm done, I get out and I get the ice pack on the ball sack, for a half an hour. But I got to tell you, I've been doing that the last couple of days consistently, and it's been feeling a little bit better. But that has been the reason for, I've been a little irritable lately. And that's the reason. Listen, when it flares up like that and I'm sitting in my chair and I got pants on, it's just, I can't imagine being kicked in the balls and it never goes away. Okay, let's go on from that. I want to thank Ric Flair from the bottom of my heart. I was on Rick's podcast today. It's on today. I think it's called I Play, and it's a CBS gimmick, and it's called Woo Nation, Ric Flair Show. I want to put it over. I did an interview with Rick yesterday. I was very happy with it. I was thrilled to death to be able to speak to the man again. I love Ric Flair. I'm a Ric Flair mark. There has never been a day of heat towards Ric Flair in my life. I loved working with David. I love working with Reed. I think I'm going to take credit for discovering Charlotte, because Charlotte was in the angle back then 16 years ago. So I think I put Charlotte on the map. I'll take credit for that. But I want to thank Rick for having me as a guest on his show. Rick has also said that, he will join us on this podcast. He will join us on iHeartRadio. I'm trying to step that up now. But listen to the interview. Again, I think it's I Play CBS, Woo Nation, Ric Flair's podcast. It's on today. Thank you so much, Rick. Okay, I'm going to put my keyboard out of the way. I'm going to get my bag ready, because I'm about to go off on the diva. And listen, I'm telling you, if you're watching this for the first time, my diva is my 20-year-old daughter that still lives with me and my wife, and she's driving me out of my mind. And today there was a very, very, very heated argument today. I mean, today it went to a different level. I'm just coming off that argument about a half an hour ago. But I want to set the stage for you. First of all, I remember when I was working with Vince McMahon. And he was, and this was so not Vince, but he was telling me about this song called Butterfly Kisses. And it was about a man and his daughter. And Vince loved the song, as it pertained to him and Stephanie's, relationship. And I remember he told me, Vince, you got to hear the song. You got to hear the song. You got to hear the song. I went home. I heard Butterfly Kisses. It's the female dad version of Cats in the Cradle. So, yeah, a very touching song, made me cry. My daughter was very young at the time, keep in mind. Vince probably turned me on to this about 1999, which would have put her at about 9 years old. So the Butterfly Kisses ripped my heart out. Like Cats in the Cradle. Every time I hear Cats in the Cradle, the older I get, I cry. Okay, my daughter's 20 now. There's no Butterfly Kisses. There's Dragon Fire. Do you understand that? Dragon Fire. My daughter has somehow, some way turned into the ultimate diva that I'm telling you, she's like the last person you ever want to be around. And I'm blaming this on my wife. I am 100% blaming this on my wife, Amy, and I'll tell you why. When my boys were growing up, Dad raised the boys with discipline. Dad was away at work a lot, but Dad raised the boys with discipline. And, one of the things that I did, a key thing that I did, and I recommend this to all fathers out there. This is a key thing I did. I knew when my kids turned 16 that they were going to want a car. So I smartened them up before that. And I said, listen, you're going to want a car when you're 16. You got to start saving money for a car. When you save enough, I'll match your down payment. Then I'll co-sign a loan for you. But remember, if you don't have a job, none of this is going to happen. So back in those days, I owned my business in Marietta, Georgia. And I let my kids work for me, and that's how my boys, Will and VJ, made money. So they made money, and both of them, on their 16th birthday, we went and we got a car. They gave me the money that they had saved while working for me. I matched their money, and then I co-signed a loan for them, so they had their cars. Okay? Now, let me say this. Never at any moment did I have to pay for a single car payment for either one of my kids. Somehow, some way, VJ and Will, every month, they gave me the money, they gave me the money, they gave me the money. They never missed a month. And I think through that, they were taking great pride in ownership, and the car was theirs, and they were learning responsibility. They never one time asked me to make a car payment, okay? Also, when it came to school, William and VJ only has a couple years on the college under his belt. He stopped going to college. He's pursuing other things. Will went through college, but Will also had the attitude of, listen, it's college. I just need to get my education and get out. So when we were in Atlanta, he went to Kennesaw. When we were here in Colorado, he went to Boulder. He just wanted to get his degree and get out. So, it didn't cost me an astronomical amount of money to put Will through school. Okay. So everything fine. Now Will's 28, VJ's 25. They're both totally independent of me. Neither son has ever asked me for a dime. And I think that had a lot to do with the early days when I tried to show them responsibility. You got to buy your car. You got to save for your car. You got to pay for your car. I think it was, they learned a lesson. Okay. And enter the diva. Now, here's where the problem started. Somehow, like, my daughter was able to figure out the system. And that system is like, don't go to dad because he might say no, and he might be stiff, and he might be hard at times for your own good. So don't go to dad, go to mom. Okay? And mom, let me describe mom a little to you. Amy was my college sweetheart. I met Amy when I went to school in Evansville, Indiana. Amy is from Evansville, Indiana. Amy is a Midwest girl. Amy is a Southern Baptist. Okay? Amy is no Vince Russo. There's no New York in Vince Russo. She's the total opposite of Vince Russo. Okay? So Annie figured out how to work that system, and I'm not going to go to dad. I'm going to go to mom. Okay? But here's what she did in the process. My wife is just so gentle and so nice, and so she's got, she's saintly. My wife is saintly. Okay? Well, my daughter's the devil. So my daughter, just like here on earth, you got the angels and you got the devil. My daughter, figured out in her teenage years how to intimidate my wife, how to make my wife afraid of her, and how to always get her way with my wife. That's what Annie figured out when I wasn't around. I don't know where I was, to be honest with you. I was probably at TNA wanting to pull my hair out. That's where I probably was. But there was like a decade that she figured this out. So it was, I'm going to go to mom because I'm always going to get my way with mom. With dad, it's not so easy. So she worked my wife into a situation of my wife fearing her. She's afraid of my daughter. I'm going to be totally honest with you. She gives into everything. She gives her whatever she wants. She's afraid of her. A lot of things are kept from me. Okay, so let me tell you what happens. The 16th birthday comes and goes. She doesn't get a call like the other two. Why? Here's the reason I'm getting when she's 16, 17 years old, okay? The reason I'm getting is, Dad, I can't get a job because I'm working on a scholarship for school. I want to make sure when it's time for me to go to college that you don't have to pay anything. That's why I'm not working. So every summer came, every school year came, she didn't work. I thought it was absolutely BS. My wife would always, tell me, oh, well, because she needs to concentrate on school, Vince. She's going to get a scholarship. She can't find a job. A job will take her away from school. That's what I was hearing from the time she was a freshman till the time she was a senior. She never worked. Okay? So now 16, she doesn't have a car. 17, she doesn't have a car. 18, she doesn't have a car. So, of course, my car is always being hijacked. Every time she returns the car, it's on empty. So if I want to go somewhere, every time I get in the car, I have to put gas in the car because she knows the deal and she knows the gimmick. Okay? So now, my daughter, we're not on the same page. I don't know where she's coming from. I'm never going to be able to understand her. She started going to college at CU. Okay, CU wasn't good enough for her. And let me tell you something. If you kids out there, college students, if you ever seen CU, it's freaking paradise. It's the college you wish your parents could have afforded you to go to. It's paradise. Wasn't good enough for her. So what did she do? She followed her friend to Brigham Young University for a semester. Now, keep in mind, my daughter's not Mormon. She don't know anything about the Mormon faith. You got to be Mormon to go to BYU. But she's following her friend. I'm sitting here knowing if she didn't like Boulder, she's certainly not going to turn into a Mormon. Sure enough, all the money I paid for her to stay at the dorm, whatever the situation may be, the thousands of dollars it cost me, she came home after a semester. So now she's going to see you again. Okay, so now listen, I'm telling her, hey, I got student loans when I went to school. My parents did not make a lot of money. I got a student loan. My wife got a student loan. We both paid off our student loans once we got job. Newsflash. Dad's not working, and Dad hasn't been working full-time almost going on 4 years. So Dad's not making 1999 Vince Russo money and hasn't been making it for 15 years. Will Dad help you out with school? Absolutely, but it's your responsibility to get the financial aid. Whatever doesn't get caught a covenant financial aid, you got to get a student loan for. If I got to help you out, I'll be happy to help you out. I think that's fair. Okay. Now, keep in mind, she's got a horrible work ethic. Unlike my boys who to this day work every day. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty. They may hate their jobs. They may hate what they're doing, but they still work. My daughter, she'll work maybe once or twice a week. That's it. That's all the time she has for work. Okay. So, she doesn't have a lot of money. Even though I don't know how much she's got stashed away in a bank, she won't let me know. I can't imagine it's a lot. So now school semester is ready to start in September. Okay. I'm making sure, I'm telling her, you file your financial aid. I'm telling her, if you got to get the student loan, you get the student loan. If I got to kick in a couple of $1,000s, I'll kick in a couple of $1,000s, no problem. Okay. So for the last 3 weeks, there's a lot of sidebars going on between her and my wife. When there's sidebars going on, I start getting really nervous. And especially now, the ball sack really starts flaring up when my daughter and wife start having some sidebar conversations, because I know what that means is my daughter doesn't want to talk to me about it. She doesn't want to have the discussion with me, so she's going to mom. Okay? So this is going on for a couple of weeks. So finally last night, okay, my daughter started school yesterday. My wife says to me last night, Vin, you have to go to the to registration office tomorrow because Annie's money is due for school. So I'm like, what do you mean her money is due for school? This was the girl, remember, freshman through senior. I'm getting my scholarships. Whatever I don't get in scholarships, I'm going to cover in a student loan. So what money? What money is this I'm paying? Well, Vin, I don't know. Annie might not have gotten the paperwork in on time. She might not have applied for student loans in time. So you have to go down to school on Friday and you have to pay for her semester. Listen, the fact that my wife hasn't given me a figure at this point, I know this is bad. I know this is really, really bad. So I say to my wife, cut the BS, cut to the chase. How much are we talking about for a semester now? So my wife turns around and says, well, it's going to be about $9,000 or $10,000. But once that paperwork comes through, you'll be reimbursed that money. My face turned blood red. Okay. I haven't worked for almost 4 years. I'm nickel and diming with $2.99 memberships for a lifetime. Whatever I got to do to make a living, that's what I'm doing. There's no $10,000 on the tree outside. So now my face is beet red. It's not just the 10 grand. It's if my daughter would have told me there was a problem a month ago, dad would have got involved and dad would have straightened this whole thing out. So now I'm freaking livid. Annie's not home. I'm texting her. She's telling me I'm in class. I can't talk. I said, yeah, well, I can talk because I don't have $10,000 on the tree outside. Why didn't you tell me this a month ago? So now I'm hot. She tiptoes in the house. I don't see her last night, but lo and behold, my car is in the shop, so I got to take her to work. And let me tell you another thing. I swear to God, man, I feel with everybody because when it rains, when it pours, when you're watching every nickel and dime, everything happens. I swear to you, in the last week, my dishwasher died. I had to replace it. I couldn't even fix it for $560. I had to fix my refrigerator for $265. I just had to fix my car for $380 in 1 week. In 1 week. Now, on top of that, I got to go pick the money tree in the back and see if there's still $10,000 on it, which I know there isn't. Okay. So now I got to drive her to work today. And now we get in the car, and now the conversation starts calmly. Why didn't you tell me this a month ago, that there was going to be an issue, that there was going to be a problem? Annie, I don't have $10,000 to give you a school on Friday. I'm sorry. I apologize. Now, all of a sudden, slowly but surely, she starts getting louder and louder and louder and louder and putting the blame on me and putting all the blame on the fact that I am not working full time. All of a sudden, everything is my fault. She has to go to sucky CU because she can't go to the college she wants, because everything depends on financials and how much they're going to give you based on the income of your mother and father, yada, yada, yada. It's my fault you're going to CU. You need to be paying for my school, this, that, and the other thing. She really starts going off, okay? At this point, I lose it. And I start cutting the promo of the century on my daughter, not even letting her get a word in edgewise. Don't play the dad not working card over his head when from the time I was 16 until recently unemployed, I busted my balls and my ass like no other man, like no other father before me. The fact that there's no work in the stinking wrestling business is not my problem. I've tried to find work, but I'm highly underappreciated, and I'm highly those that would hire me are highly intimidated by me, so I don't get hired, so I don't have a job. So now we get to the car dealership. She's trying to throw me out of my wife's car, which I own. She hits the brakes and says, "Get out of the car. Get out of the car." I'm like, "Get out of the car? This is my car. You don't own a car. Remember when you were 16, 4 years ago, and I told you to get a car? You don't own a car. You can't kick me out of my own car. Do you understand that?" Finally, I got out of the car, shut the door. She screeched out of the parking lot. Round 2 is going to be a doozy. I'm telling you right now, round 2 is going to be a doozy. Listen, guys, if you're married, don't let your daughter get a hold of your wife. I'm telling you, nothing good will ever come out of it. They'll own the wife. They'll dominate the wife. The wife will be afraid of the daughter. No. See what's going on. Don't be an idiot like me. Know the landscape. See what's going on behind your back. Because when you're 20 years old, you got a full-blown diva on your hands, and there's going to be big problems. I got to tell you, I don't know how that works, but it seems to work. There's the diva story. Now I want to move on to my second story. I got 3 stories today. I'm going to move on to my second story. My second story involves the man by the name of, I'm going to call him Conway Kardashian right now. That's what his name is. It's Conway Kardashian because the idiot's turned into a Kardashian. I got to tell you something, man. I'm all for art. I'm all for artists. I'm all for people that are creative. And I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're a writer. I don't care if you're a ballet dancer. I don't care if you're a painter. I don't care if you're an actor. It doesn't matter to me. I love the arts, and I support artists. I support that. I don't care what you do. I support artists, okay? Kanye West gave a speech at the MTV Video Music Awards. And he droned on for about 20 minutes. And listen, first of all, there's no question about it. This man is bipolar. He's absolutely bipolar. I am in a 20-minute span. I cannot be all over the place like Kanye West was. He was all over the place through this entire 20-minute diatribe of garble and garbage. And he's talking about I speak for the artist and this and like things that like I'm sitting there and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I swear to God, please, and I'm sorry, God, if there's somebody out there, I'm not kidding you, that can tell me what this man has done in his life to think that he's all that he thinks he is. somebody sit this down and explain it to me. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what he's ever achieved. I know he's a rapper. Okay, and rappers are grown-up nursery rhymes. And rappers don't sing. They go out with the microphone and they talk. That's what rappers do. Listen, I'm sorry. If you're perhaps the greatest rapper in the world, whoever that is, maybe there's an art to that. But for the 99% of the other rappers out there, you're rhyming words. Dr. Seuss rhymed words. Mother Goose rhymed words. Okay, that's not an art. And, throwing F-bombs in there and my homies this and pot this and drugs that and guns this and knives that. That's not art. That's not art. And listen, for a lot of these guys, it's not that you don't know anything about that stuff anyway. You're doing it because that's what sells. That's what you think the kids think are cool. Miley Cyrus wrote a song and sang it about smoking pot like anybody in the world cares. Unfortunately, if you're 14 and under, I guess that is cool to you. But all of us that have adult brains, and I'm talking about from 15 on, you're a moron. Okay, Miley Cyrus, I don't care that you smoke pot. Nobody cares that you smoke pot, and you got to write a song about it. Conway, the same thing. I don't care what's going through your mind. It is not important to me. You are not important. You are not an artist. I don't want to hear it. And here's the thing, man. This is the thing that kept cracking me up. And go back and watch this diatribe. Every time he says something, all the 14-year-old girls are screaming and popping. And when they scream and pop, he takes the mic and he goes, listen to the kids, listen to the kids. Listen to the kids, listen to the kids. It reminded me of these idiots at Full Sail University that chant, we're not worthy, before a choreographed wrestling match takes place. Can you imagine if we listened to these people? Can you imagine if we took the advice of Kanye West and listened to the kids? You want to know what we would get if we listened to the kids, Kanye Kardashian? Watch the awards show and look at what the kids like. That's what we would be getting. And I hate to break the news to you. If you're over 15 years old, none of us wants that. So listen to the kids. Bro, go scratch your backside with that. Honestly, listen to the kids. That would be a great move for us today to listen to the kids. For me to listen to the diva today would be a great choice for me to listen to the diva today. And here's another thing. I got to go off on this, okay? Every time Kanye says something, they go into this two-shot of Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian, and Taylor's got her arm around Kim Kardashian, and she's dwarfing Kim Kardashian. I mean, Taylor Swift looks like Manute Bol next to Kim Kardashian. So the shot is ridiculous to begin with, okay? Then here's the thing. Everything Kanye says, Taylor Swift is selling like this is Jesus Christ on the Sermon on the Mount. She's selling it like, did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Taylor Swift, I got to tell you something. Listen, you're a hillbilly. I'm just getting that out. You're a hillbilly singer who, again, the 14-year-olds, the kids like. Outside of 14 and over, nobody likes you. That was cute when you were like 18, maybe. It was annoying at 18. Maybe some people found it cute. You're an adult now. You're in your 20s now. It's not freaking cute anymore. You look like an imbecile. And I would think you have people And maybe you're not smart enough to figure out that's not cool anymore. You're surprised by, oh my God, what comes out of everybody's mouth. Listen, the people around Taylor Swift, will you please protect her? Will you please smarten her up and let her know she looks like an absolutely hillbilly imbecile? And nothing against hillbillies, but that's what I see when I see. That's hee-haw to me. That reminds me of hee-haw. So listen, I apologize to all the hillbillies out there that may be watching in the backwoods. I'm gonna replace hillbillies with hee-haw. Stop the hee-haw act. The hee-haw act is freaking ridiculous. And then Conway West wraps this thing up after just telling us to listen to the kids. He wraps it up by saying he's running for presidency in 2020, which of course Taylor Swift sells. Did you hear what he said? Okay, bro, you'll be the president in 2020, and you'll listen to the kids, and you'll run the country based on what the 14-year-old teeny boppers want, if that's what they're even called. Good freaking luck. I swear. Listen, I'm not even kidding. I will move to Canada so fast, bro. I will buy an axe. I will buy a flannel shirt. I will become a lumberjack. I'm not kidding you. Please. And here's another thing. I said earlier today that I was going to make a major announcement. I'm making a major announcement right now based on Kanye Kardashian. As I'm watching this dribble, he keeps using the word brah. Yeah, brah. Hey, brah. Hey, listen to the kids, brah. Brah, brah. Listen, I will never, ever, ever again use the word bro in my vernacular. I am taking the word bro out of my vocabulary because every time now I say bro, I'm going to be thinking of the jackass that wants to listen to the 14-year-old kids. I am eliminating that from my vocabulary. Now, I need to find another word. Maybe I'll use man because you know why? I like the man days. I like retro days. I liked when everybody said peace man. I like that. I like that in the 60s. I was born in the 60s. So even by the time the 60s came to an end, I was only 9 years old. I like the man. I like calling people man. And I don't care if that's irrelevant. Well, if I got to be relevant by listening to 14-year-olds, I don't want to be relevant. So I'm going to try to substitute bro with man, but I will never say the word bro again. As long as Kanye Kardashian is saying bro, I will never use the word bro again. Here's the last topic I'm going to hit today. I wrote about it a little bit this morning on csrwrestling.com, but I think it would be better if you heard it from me because a lot of times when I write stuff, there's a lot of emotion that goes in that, and you only get the emotion through my words. I think when you can see me, and I got the hand gimmick, and I got the uneven ball sack and all that stuff, I think it's better. I literally, I'm not kidding you. I literally burned my bridge at the WWE because I made the decision to give China the forum when Triple H went on WWE Network and basically made some comments that I felt defamed China. I felt he embarrassed China, and I felt he tried to bully China. And I also felt that Triple H felt that, well, she's living in Japan now. There's not going to be any kind of a comeback on her part. And the words really pissed me off. And just again, to remind you, it was China's not in the Hall of Fame because if a little kid Googles her name, they'll see that she's done adult videos in the past. That's what Triple H said, which was totally unnecessary. That opened up the entire envelope for Joni to go out there and say, Triple H hit me when we were dating. yada, yada, yada. That opened up that whole can of worms. So Triple H's mouth started the entire ball rolling, not Vince Russo. Vince Russo basically gave Joni, a friend, a forum to express her feelings on. I did not know what she was going to say, about Triple H and the domestic abuse. I had no clue. So I gave her the forum, and I was informed by a WWE employee that just the fact that I gave her the forum, brought me nuclear heat, upon me from the WWE. And I was also asked by the said employee, like, why didn't I edit it? Why didn't I take that part out? First of all, I'm not going to edit what anybody says on this show. And I told you, listen, I've said Bruce Pritchard's coming on here in a couple of weeks. I feel that Bruce Pritchard at a couple of points in the interview tried to discredit me. And I'm not editing that. He said it. I'm going to put it on my podcast. You could judge it any way you want. I brought a Dave Wills on the show. Dave Wills is it's still real to me, damn it, guy. He came on the show wearing I'm a Jim Cornette guy shirt. He came on the show promoting Jim Cornette's books. I'm not editing any of that. You can come on the show. It's your forum to do whatever you want to do. Now, listen, if language gets out of hand, if you pull your pants down, if it's something like that and I have to edit it, I will. But people's views and opinions, I'm not going to edit. So the fact of the matter is, because I gave her the forum, it totally burned my bridge at the WWE. They hold me responsible for giving her the forum. And, I got nuclear heat, and it should have been edited. Okay, well, first of all, I don't take any of that back, because to this day, I feel that Hunter bullied China. I will always feel that he bullied her, whether it means ever working there again or not. I really don't care. That's the way I feel. And I felt she needed a platform. I felt she needed to be heard. I would never, regardless of the consequences, I would never in a million years even consider, apologizing, going back on any of that. And I would have did the same thing all over again. Okay, with that being said, Triple H goes out there on his own network and says China cannot be in the WWE because of her past. Okay, well, first of all, I know, because I've been in the business, there are other people in the Hall of Fame that have checkered pasts. I mean, there's no question about it. You can run background checks on the individuals if that's what you care to do. But it's not important. But the fact of the matter is, he's judging China and saying she can't be in the Hall of Fame because she did this, when you've got, a number of other guys that, have a spreadsheet on them as well. Okay, that's number one. But forget it. Everybody forgets about it. But now all of a sudden, we have three major stories, all concerning WWE Hall of Fame figures. Number one, Sonny. Number two, Hulk Hogan. And number three, as of yesterday, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, Sonny basically is doing a version of, using her body on the internet to financially, make a living, to earn some money, same way China did. China did not make a decision to go into the porn industry. It's not what China wanted to do. China needed to make money at the time, so China did what she had to do. Sonny needs to make money at the time, so Sonny is doing what Sonny needs to do. Whether I condone that or not, it's not up to me to judge Sonny. But I do applaud her when it came out this week that the WWE was not happy with what she was doing to earn a living. And Sonny came out and said, well, unfortunately, WWE, you're not sending me any checks. There's no money coming, from any WWE avenues. Therefore, I need to go out and make a living on my own accord, doing what I need to do. And if you don't like it, I'm really sorry about that. I applaud Sonny for that. I mean, I really, really do. The WWE is going to sit there and say, because we put you in the Hall of Fame, well, now you can't do certain things. Bro, Listen, here's the fact of the matter. They do own some people. There are some people at the WWE that have literally sold their soul to the devil. I'm not one of those people. And basically, based on Sonny's comments, I don't think she's one of those people. The girl's got to do what the girl's got to do to make a living. It's not up to us to judge her. But we can compare her situation to Joni's now. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to it. If a little kid Googles Sonny, are they going to see what Sonny's doing online? The answer is yes. Hulk Hogan. We all know the situation with the first of all, we all know the situation with the sex tape. Second of all, we know the situation now with the racial comments. We know this baggage now that is associated with Hulk Hogan. Okay. The kid goes and Googles Hulk Hogan. What's the kid going to read? Hulk Hogan is a racist. Well, Hulk Hogan is in the Hall of Fame. So now we've got a problem on our hands. But now, yesterday, we go one step further. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. An incident since 1983 where his girlfriend, unfortunately died. And there has been rumor and speculation swirling for the last 30 years. Yesterday, Superfly Jimmy Snuka was arrested and charged. I think it was third-degree murder. I believe that was the charge. Okay. A kid is going to Google Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka, and now they're going to see he's being charged as a murderer. So now, based on Triple H's comments that China cannot get in to the Hall of Fame because she did an adult film, if kids were going to the internet, we would see them Googling a female who is doing something very, very similar to China did, Googling, who some are calling a racist, and Googling who some are accusing of murder. What do we do now, Triple H? You opened up your mouth. You gave us all the reasons why China could not go in the Hall of Fame. Now what do you do with these three individuals? Do we put China in to make it even? Or are those three individuals coming out of the Hall of Fame? And listen, I'm not suggesting that. This is what I'm suggesting. The Hall of Fame is a joke. It's an absolute joke. And now it has caused the WWE more public relations problems than they could have ever imagined. And it's an absolute joke because you have one man deciding whether or not you're a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not a fan vote. If it were a fan vote, it would be absolutely a different story. It's not a fan vote. It's Vince McMahon deciding who's worthy of being in his make-believe Hall of Fame. So it's basically like the person getting selected, the prize is really basically Vince likes me, he really likes me. That's the prize. You get a ring, the ring is nice. But as far as notoriety from the boys, listen, it's not your peers voting. It's not the fans voting. It's one man. So the notoriety is I'm over with one man. Okay. Now, I watch enough professional sports to see how former athletes, alumni are revered with every team. I can't tell you how many Giant games I've watched where they stop everything. Cepeda comes in a booth. Marichal comes in a booth. Mays comes in the booth. McCovey comes in the booth. They stop everything and they pay tribute to the alumni and the former players. Okay. I know for a fact, because I have a good friend in the Giants organization, that they find jobs within the organization for these alumni or former players that they held in very high esteem. Orlando Cepeda is in the front office. Announcers, guys working in the minor league system, that they're rewarded financially for what they did in the past. They are still currently making a living and still currently making money based on what they've done in the past. So the bottom line is, rather than keep getting yourself in this trouble with the Hall of Fame over and over and over again, because let's face it, the wrestler is a different breed than the baseball player or the football player or the basketball player. And the lifestyle tends to lead to get you into a little bit more trouble. Remember, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, they're seasons. These guys aren't on the road all the time. WWE are on the road 12 months out of the year. You're opening up the envelope to get into more trouble. So you really want to do the right thing. You really want to do something that matters. Forget the Legends contract. Listen, the Legends don't make any money on the Legends contract. What it does is it ties them to WWE. The WWE gives them a little paycheck here or there and can use them for appearances, merchandise, dolls, whatever it is they want to do. It's not a lot of money. You really want to take care of your Hall of Famers or those that warrant to be taken care of. Give them a freaking job. Give them a job within the organization. Let them work at the training facility. Let them teach the kids how to give promos. Let them teach the kids in-ring philosophy. Let them work behind the scenes at Raw. Let them work with your charities. Find a spot for them in the office. Let them be a spokesperson for the company. There are a million ways to reward these people that you want to reward that will help them out. You know, you give a WWE Hall of Famer a ring, that's not going to put food on his table. That's not going to help pay his bills. That basically allows me to wave the banner of Vince McMahon likes me. And if you're not in the Hall of Fame, he probably doesn't like you. That's all that it freaking means. So the WWE, listen, you keep getting yourself in trouble more and more with the WWE. It's PR propaganda. Stop the BS. You really want to honor these people, then honor them financially. Honor them in a situation that's going to help them. Give them a podcast. Give them a show on the network. Do another Tuesday Night Titans, whatever it is. But that's how you reward them, and you won't keep leaving egg on your face every time one of these Hall of Famers screw up because they're human. It's a real simple solution. You really want to do the right thing, do the right thing. Oh, boy, that was, sometimes I come here on Chicken Necks and I have to reach for topics. There was really a lot to talk about tonight. But that's it for now. Listen, later on today, for you, I'm going to be honest with you, members of the brand now, because I'm just shooting straight with you. I had to make a decision, and when we went to this $295 for a lifetime that you could sign up now, and you get it for a lifetime. Two new members. Basically the way it was explained to me, and the way Realm looked at it to me was, well, Vince, you got some members that are paying the full price. And how that usually works is if I subscribe to a magazine and I pay a certain price and all of a sudden that magazine subscription goes on sale, well, the people that paid the full price paid the full price. Now the people that paid the sale price are getting the sale price. That's just the way it works. If I go to buy an item at Target today and the item is $25 and a month from now the item goes on sale for $15, I paid $25, it's $15 now. There's nothing I could do. That's how it works with consumers. And, I told the guy, Rel, I said, bro, that doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't. I have my subscribers that are very loyal to me that are paying the $4.95 a month. I don't want to slight them. I don't want to piss them off. I want to give them the opportunity to get the $4.95 as well. Now, keep in mind, if those that, paid the $4.95 with no problem, if they all now go to the $2.95, that is going to drastically hurt me financially. And that was explained to me by Realm. And I told Realm, I said, listen, I totally understand that. And obviously I am in this because I need to earn a living and I need to earn an income. But, I don't want to piss off any of those loyal members, the people that have been paying full price and have been there since day one. I don't want to piss them off. So there's got to be a way that we can offer them the same $295 lifetime across the board. So if you're a full-time member, you do have the option to do that. Later on, I'm going to make a video just giving you those exact instructions of how you need to take advantage of that, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion in the marketplace right now. So I'm going to give you those instructions. If you want to go from the $495 to the $295, you have that option. So look for a video later on today from me. But again, Brand, that's it. Tomorrow on The Swerve, I'm telling you, man, listen to my interview with Dewey Foley, Mick Foley's oldest son. The kid's a freaking genius. The kid wants to be a writer in the WWE. He tells great stories of growing up Foley. I really enjoyed the interview. Friday, we will be back here with Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Dirt. Jeff and I have a brand new show we're doing on Saturday. That's called Everything But Freaking Wrestling. And then remember, Sunday I'll be on the iHeart Network. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. iHeartRadio. You go to KCOL. My guest this week is Mick Foley. Great interview. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks a lot, Brand, for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.